Between 1980 and 1993, many people in Peru, seeking refuge from violence, left their homes in the Andes and fled to the outskirts of cities such as Lima, looking for work and a safe place to live. Here, these migrants struggle to eke out an existence, facing the hardships of unemployment, displacement and social inequality. Because of societal prejudice and discrimination, it is the women who, historically, have suffered the most.
There was quite a passionate plea from some of the indigenous Mercy sisters from Peru to come and, share the lot with them. And so that tugged at our heart. We thought, this is what we should be doing. And so we went to Lima, and that was around 1994, 95. There was a new area at Cerro Candela, which was just starting off. It was a brand new hill, people were just moving in. I remember sort of climbing up that really steep hill with women ahead of me just carrying these pieces of matted straw. That was going to be their house. An incredible impression that had on me of this is how it's all started. It was starting there without any water, without any sewerage, without any roads, telephones, nothing at all.
Well, it's an area that's very arid. We're in the desert, so there's lots of dust and there's a lot of poverty there. The people don't have proper housing. There's also no social services, and they live in a very simple way because there's no running water, no sewage, very little garbage collection, and consequently there's a lot of illness in the area.
When I came here to Lima and I went up and visited the shanty town up on the hill behind where we are now, I really felt so distressed because where a lot of the people were living were in these houses or huts really that were built with just straw matting. Some of them, had some brick walls. Most of them had no ceilings, dirt floors for their houses. All around the district I watched the women washing clothes, sitting on the ground with a tub of water in front of them. And I suppose when I came here and saw the lack of resources for the women, I really felt that we had to do something.
We started meeting with those women. They have a great sense of welcome to us. And we started talking to them, and they had this great urge for a better life for their families. So many of them were in really dire conditions of poverty. We could help for today, but we needed something better for the future for them.
We started off doing community development work. So as we wandered around to get to know the people and to listen to their needs and to evaluate how we might respond, one of the big needs that came through was that the women had nowhere to go and that they wanted to really improve their lives and the lives of their children because it's a very macho culture here and the women had nowhere to go.
So I planted the idea with them that would they like a house that they could feel was their own, where they could come and learn some skills, knitting, sewing, crochet, these cottage industry skills. And they responded really, really well. In fact, now they own it, they are the founders of this house, and they are really the founders of the house in a special way. The truth is that there is no other real opportunity for these women who cannot pay money to get themselves educated. University education here is very expensive, and technical education is not so expensive, but it's not quite the same as the education that we're trying to give in these women's houses, because the spirit of the person really needs to be developed too. Prefiriendo morir, luego
Just down the street from the women's house, there is the children's house. We have a children's house, also called Mother of Mercy Children's House. And there, once again, it came out as a response from the women's summing up of what was needed. We found that there were so many women who were either not able to come to classes because they had nowhere to leave their children, or else some of them were so keen to come to class, but they were leaving their 3-year-old locked in the house by themselves, and we thought, that's not on. So we decided, what's needed is a safe place for children while their mums are studying or learning new skills. And then as well as that, there were a lot of medical needs. So there in the women's house, we also have the medical centre where the doctor is there 4 times a week. And always there'll be a queue of people waiting to see the doctor.
The medical centre started just 2 years ago with a grant from Australia, and it started because we were very concerned about the needs of the people there. Because I remember one of my first visits to Cerro Candela, the people wanted us to come and bless the children because all the children were sick. So as we wandered over the hill, we saw all these little children with diarrhoea, and the people thought it was because the hill hadn't been blessed. And we discovered then that the local medical service had run out of the tablets to purify the water. So I realised then there was a big need for health education. And the other need that the women expressed very strongly was that when their children were sick or they were sick, they couldn't afford to buy medicines. There were a couple of pharmacies, but they were very pricey. So the first thing we started was a very small medical dispensary, and we have a group now of about 7 women, and they dispense medicines every afternoon, and because they give their time freely, we're able to offer those medicines at a much cheaper price. So that's been a tremendous help to that community.
In the women's house, just in Candela there'd be about 400 women who would come every week, 400 families, and in the other place too, between Cornhill and through the annex, there'd be another 400, so 800 or so families. That's this year, and there's new ones next year, last year.
Some of the friends that I have also started women's houses in the districts in which they work. And so there are these women's houses popping up all around. And I've had I can think at least 4 or 5 invitations to come and start women's houses. So there's a real motivating factor there, and I just wish some of our Mercy sisters had come and do it, because it really is a work that's close to Catherine Macaulay's heart, I think, and to be close to all the hearts of our Sisters of Mercy.
They're wonderful people. They live in this very deprived environment, and it's a very harsh environment, but they've got this amazing spirit. They're determined, they want to make their lives better, and they've got a strong sense of solidarity, of really wanting to work together in community, and that fits very nicely with our philosophy as well, the Mercy philosophy.
We can't change the whole world, but at least we can do some small thing, and hopefully through the women's houses, through the children's houses, through the various programs that we've got going there, in some small way, life can become better for those women, and hopefully that'll have a ripple effect. And it's just great, I guess, to see the women, standing up and really sharing that sense of solidarity, of search for justice, of search for mercy. There's a great spirit of solidarity amongst the women.
La Casa de la Mujer, sí, es muy importante para las mujeres. Muy, muy importante. Valiosísimo. Es un tesoro. Es un tesoro. No vamos a cansarnos de agradecer al hecho de que hayan mujeres como ustedes de la misericordia que hayan tenido esta idea maravillosa de tener la Casa de la Mujer. Y con la ayuda de estas personas generosas que puedan apoyar a las hermanas de la misericordia para que haya más casas de la mujer, estoy seguro que este mundo va a cambiar.